All right, so this next episode of Pop Culture POV Point of View has to do with something I thought was great and I would love to see more of coming into the new year. This is basically not anyone could do this career wise. I'm speaking on Adele. You obviously have to have a certain career to make these big power moves. And the moves that I mean in general are just more the artist respecting really themselves, respecting the craft, respecting the artistry. I really enjoyed a couple things. Obviously, everyone has enjoyed the fact that she takes time to release music. That could be accredited to her being a mother, but also just spending time away. It has always been baffling to me as we go year after year. We're becoming, I don't know where we're going to land because we're becoming way more tied into being a TikTok sound versus an actual assemblage of music, an album, a story. And that's always worried me. I speak on stuff like that, and a lot of people will say, oh, you're just being the older, over 40-year-old who has a viewpoint from yesteryear. And there's a lot of truth to that, I'm sure. But I think the thing about it is when I was 20, when I was 18, 21 years old is when I started in radio specifically. I can have my viewpoint and know what's going on at the ground level, you know, the music that we're listening to as far as young people, the music in the clubs, whatever. But to not have a viewpoint from the next generation, I think you lose a lot. And so people don't really want to hear sometimes, oh, well, I'd like to hear music that's much more than TikTok. And it's just washed off as, well, that's an old take. And it's not really just an old take. It's me saying, is the artistry good? Is it good work? We're losing, I guess the question to you is, are we losing the quality of work when each and every artist who isn't Adele and who isn't at her level, who isn't at her stature to say, I want to do it a specific way and I don't want to make TikTok music, are all those other artists who are newer? I'm not calling them thirsty because you have to do what you have to do, but are all those newer artists, are they subscribed to having to care so little about the work and more about the distribution of the work? You know, what does better? I'll speak on my particular industry as a radio host from 2002. What speaks better on social media, digital, than your most compelling interview you're ever going to give? Your most compelling interview you're ever going to give goes nowhere sometimes algorithmically. It's not funny, I suppose, even though it is. But somebody who's adjusting their microphone or their lighting and the light falls, suddenly that's funny, which I don't think it's funny. And it becomes a really, it's like the new version of a cat video. And I got to tell you, I have never in my life, not one time, not a single time, have ever enjoyed a cat video. Not once. Never amused me. Never tickled me in any kind of way. A stupid cat video? No. So my point is, it's like, what is the point? The point is the choosing to create and what it is that you're trying to create, and to know that it gets me. It gets me that unless you're somebody as structurally strong as Adele, you're going to have to worry about the distribution of a really silly video, which really, to some degree, I guess it's good because you could see other sides of the talent. It's kind of like back in the day when we wouldn't just watch music videos, we would watch like behind the music. We'd get to know about them. But I mean, what am I going to really learn about somebody when it's an artist that, you know, is walking into the studio and they drop a cup of coffee and it's supposed to be a funny viral moment? Did I learn anything? Did that make me feel more connected to them? No, it didn't. Anyways, let's not talk about that because I go on and on. I know a lot of people who are of my age too, and they're like, Ronnie, just go with it. It's fun. It's cutesy TikTok. And I'm like, no, it's not funny. It's not fun. No. But my bigger point here was Adele's timing, her taking her time with the work. And I wish that more artists, and let me tell you something, people won't really speak like this because a lot of people are really trying to have that viral moment, because these days, and I don't know that it'll go on forever, but a viral moment is a career maker. You know, whether you are, you know, in the lab and you are working and working and working and working and working and you're trying to make something wonderful, unless you have that viral video sometimes, you know, be it you're saying something to the camera and you say it incorrectly, and like, you know, you're saying something in a noise, you know, from your let's say behind you there's a like a bookcase, and some books just randomly fall, and then you give it a wiggle or a look like, oh, what is that? Who's in the room? Those things create viral moments, but they're so boring to me. In terms of my artists, if I'm looking for music, I'm looking for music. I'm not looking for a quirky like little goofy ass video. That's not what I'm looking for. Maybe if you're a comic, it could be different. Anyways, let's hone in on Adele. When I gets to talking, I guess to talking. Um, the point is, I like the time that she spent on making the music. I liked the fact that they did something I think that we should see more of. CBS, I believe it was, had Oprah sit down with Adele, talk about the new music, talk about her journey. She's now divorced. And I felt like all the aspects of knowing her, we got right there. I didn't need a TikTok video. I didn't need a viral moment to understand what was trying to be communicated. And we aren't all the same. So the fact that we're all trying to fit into the same, this teeny tiny TikTok box is funny to me. And so it was, to me, this particular pop culture POV point of view, and it's all about point of view for me, it's all about perspective, is for me, I'm just stating simply that I really enjoy her. Her too. I enjoy Adele performing at the Griffith Observatory. Such a beautifully shot moment. There was tons of celebrities there. Not that justifies anything, but it was just a really wonderful moment. The sun going down, Adele giving it good as she does, intermingling the interview with Oprah and sort of saying what got her through. I just want to see more of that. There's plenty of time for silly shit. That's, I guess, on the top of this episode, it sounded like I was being real mean about that, and I'm not. I'm just saying there's a lot of time for that, but if you have virtually every record label, or even if you're independent, or a TV show, or even if you're on YouTube, if everyone's focusing for the same thing, we're not going to get as many Adeles, and that's my issue. There's many more Adeles out there. There's many more hers out there. There's many more, Alicia Keys out there, and I think we need to let our artists have time to take a downbeat and gather, figure out what is coming into their soul musically, and then we get great music from it. And again, this is not like I'm so astute into music. I mean, I will bounce my ass to a freaking Ariana Grande song tomorrow. So I'm totally with it. I just wanted to take a little bit of a moment here for Pop Culture POV, for Pop Culture Point of View, to say, on the positive, I really liked that. I liked everything about the new album rollout and release of Adele. I liked seeing her back. I liked seeing her confidence in a hard time. I liked her talking about her confidence in the face of a divorce. All of it was really good. And the network getting behind putting her on a special, I feel like there's plenty of spaces to do more of that. The television landscape has really changed. I miss the days of sitcoms. I miss the days of really great, I'd never watched the show ER, but like a really great show that comes on at 10 p.m. and everyone watches. The appointment television, it's changed with the network because the networks are trying to keep up with streaming, and I get that. But when you have something as regal as this, because it was regal, when you get something as regal as this, it was appointment television. It was one of those moments. Actually, I remember when I was watching Adele at Griffith Observatory, I remember seeing on my social media, everyone commented on it. So therefore, you still have your social media moment, but it was done where you put focus on the art and not the social media. It was opposite. It was the way it should be done, in my opinion. So she is really wonderful, and I want to see more and more people do that. And I want to see, sorry, I got sidetracked there. To the concept of television, I said as it's changed. I know it's changed. It has changed, and I know it's changed. But when you think about it, some of the programs now, because they're competing with streaming, they tend to lean towards like America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, or some type of contest kind of a thing, which is all great. But I think, and I hope that the numbers that CBS, and maybe the production cost was really hard, so maybe they would not do it again. Maybe it was very expensive, but I hope that more networks could look to that and say, hey, we should do something in the vein of that, where it doesn't have to be a stupid game show and yet we can't do compelling TV because we're competing with streaming, where they could always just be more edgy than us. Let's do something. Let's look at what talent is coming out with new music. You could do it your own version. It doesn't have to be Oprah doing the interview. I could do the interview, and I'm only $5 more than Oprah. My rate's not that high. I'm being so stupid. Anyways, Adele, music matters as far as how she rocks it, and so about it. And this was a pop culture POV. Oh, look at me, you got me stuttering now. This was a pop culture point of view, just saying Adele's music was wonderful this year, and I like when the artist takes time to be an artist, and this was just the perspective on that. All right, wrapping things up, randomlyrjr.com. Go to the two YouTube channels, which is youtube.com/randomlyRJ, and the other one is Ronnie Media Page. Okay, one more thing. And the last thing is, if you want to support all of the production, it's going to be patreon.com/randomlyRJ. So go look at it. There's a $3, a $6, an $11, a $25 tier. So go support it in some way. I mean, right? That's about it. All right, Pop Culture POV. That's the end.